the sigha, how to say at-tahiyyat. Now, in different madhahib, actually a hadith, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Sahabi says, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to teach us at-tahiyyatu like he would teach us a surah of Quran. He would teach us at-tahiyyatu like this. This is very important, meaning you can't change the wordings of it. Each madhab, they have looked at the riwayats and they have taken what they believe is the most authentic way of saying at-tahiyyatu. Two madhahib, Ahnaf and Hanabila, they say that they say in these wordings, they say at-tahiyyatu lillahi was-salawatu wat-tayyibatu assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi as-salihin. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. To be honest, after Assalamu alayka, none of them are different. It's the beginning bit where Ahnaf say at-tahiyyatu lillahi was-salawatu wat-tayyibatu. The Malikis, they take the hadith at-tahiyyatu lillahi, az-zakiyatu lillahi, at-tayyibatu lillahi, assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiy wa rahmatullah to the end. Okay. Shafi'is, they take at-tahiyyatu al-mubarakat, as-salawatu at-tayyibatu lillah, then assalamu alayka until the end. Now, note from the last lesson, we discussed in a bit of detail that at-tahiyyat, the reading of at-tahiyyat, okay, is wajib for Ahnaf, sunnah for Malikis, and the Hanabila and Shafi'is, they say they are fard. They are part of the rukun. Now, if they are fard to read, and I said last time as well, when something is fard, the implication of changing it is greater. In the Maliki madhab, if you were to not read at-tahiyyatu at all, your salah would still be valid. And in Hanafi madhab, if you forgot, you didn't intentionally leave it, you can make it up as shizda sahu. But the other madhahib, there is no way of leaving it. You left it, your salah would be void. For example, Shafi madhab, it is fard to read at-tahiyyatu. Now, mistakes in at-tahiyyatu have greater implication in the madhab where there is, where they say it is fard. So if someone didn't know at-tahiyyatu properly, the Shafi'is, for example, they say if he said at-tahiyyatu lillahi and salamun alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, salamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin, and until the end, that would suffice. He said at-tahiyyatu lillahi. He didn't say al-mubarakatu as-salawatu at-tayyibat lillah. He said at-tahiyyatu lillah, and then he continued. They say fard will be complete still, because he's done at-tahiyyat, he's done the salam. He said, they say his salah will not be void. Anything less than that, his salah will be void. It will not suffice him. So obviously, the mistakes will have greater implication where something is thought to be more important. We said salawat on the Prophet. Salawat on the Prophet ﷺ is considered part of the at-tahiyyat. For which madhahib? The salawat on the Prophet after at-tahiyyat is also considered fard. In which madhab? Hanabila and Shafi. Hanabila, Shafi. Yeah. Hanafis, they consider after tahiyyat, the salah is done, is sunnah to read after, and the Malikis, all reading is sunnah, except the salam. Now, because they say salawat on the Prophet is fard for Hanabila and Shafi, then the implication is greater if you miss it or say wrong. But you can say any of the salawat, any of the sigha, of the saying of salawat on the Prophet which has been mentioned in athar, is ma'thur in any hadith. Normally, the best one is Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, the one we normally read until the end. But if someone just said Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, the fard is done. That's the bit I want to touch on. If he said Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, those who consider fard, the fard is done. Okay, because salam was done. What was the proof for that is Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. The salam was done in assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu, and Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, the fard is done. And salah would be right if he made a mistake or left out what's after it. Also, in regards to tashahud, that it has to be in Arabic. It has to be in Arabic. And especially, you can imagine that, do you remember when we did a whole session on dua in sajda or reading dua in salah in your own language, and if you don't know Arabic, and you remember we did a whole session on Fatiha. If someone made a mistake in Fatiha, the implication of Fatiha mistakes are greater in the madhahib. They say Fatiha is a rukun, where Ahnaf says is wajib, but it's not rukun. So if you left out something from mistakenly from the Fatiha, or you forgot, you can make it up by sajda sahu. But other madhahib, those who consider it fard, they say you can't make it up. That rakat is not done. So, similarly, without going into all the details, because you've heard it once before, should be in your notes. Those who consider tashahud to be fard, they are more stricter. But tashahud in all madhahib has to be done in Arabic. Salah must be in Arabic. Now, the only excuse would be that if someone became Muslim, let's say today, and they haven't had enough chance to learn the salah before the time of salah finishes. Okay, there may be excuse for these people to either say in your language or either not say it or either, okay. But for a normal person, there is no excuse, unless a person hasn't got the ability to learn, or he cannot learn for any reason. Maybe he may get away for that time period to say in his language or not to read it or just sit there. But Ahnaf would say he can just sit there until he has learned it. Malikis won't be too worried because they say he is it's a sunnah. But those who say fard, they will allow him to say in his language as long as he is learning. Allahu a'lam. And I would like to finish it that because there are more than one sigha, more than one way of saying tashahud, should one mix it? So, because do you remember from the last time, we said when sitting between the two sajdas, Allahumma aghfirli warhamni wajburni wa'afini wahdini, we said these are three different ahadith which have been combined together, right? But the thing is, those ahadith, all of them are from the same sahabi. He learned from Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. All we learn from that it is not wajib to say all of them. You may say some of them or none of them. Salah would be fine. But with at-tahiyyatu, they have been narrated because Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has taught those sahabi these words specifically in that way. And these are unchangeable. When dua is taught in that way, like a hadith in Bukhari, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said to sahabi, when you come to your bed, do wudu and sleep on the right side and then read the dua. And at the end of the dua, وَبِنَبِيِّكَ الَّذِي أَرْسَلْتَ. He said, وَبِي رَسُولِكَ الَّذِي أَرْسَلْتَ. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, no, I told you نَبِيِّكَ الَّذِي أَرْسَلْتَ. It's the same thing, but because dua cannot be changed in that way. So, at-tahiyyat is agreed upon the madhahib that you cannot change the word. What you may do, sometime you read at-tahiyyatu lillahi wa salawat. The second time you read at-tahiyyatu lillah, zakiyatu lillah, or you read at-tahiyyatu mubarakatu. You choose. You choose one or the other. Sometime you read this, sometime you read that. That's fine, if you really want to. But you must not mix up. That's everything for tashahud, as far as I think. Yeah, that's everything for tashahud. We have finished with this rukun.